Are you lonely? Are you a man and you would like to find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife? Then this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about why most men tolerate loneliness, how to overcome loneliness, and a couple of very important mindsets along the way. This may be one of the most important videos you're going to watch all year. I know it may sound like a big claim, but science is absolutely clear that the number one key for happiness is social relationships. It's social contact. It's high quality social contact. Now, Andrew Huberman also talks about the fact that it's not just deep and meaningful relationships, but also short, brief encounters with a lady at the reception, with a security guy, with a driver, with people you meet in the lobby, wherever you happen to be. Short social interactions, or with women in bars, with women in supermarkets, with women in your gym, with people in general. Short interactions are also shown to have a measurable impact on your levels of happiness. But today I want to focus on the ones that are more meaningful. But I also want to talk to you about that is also important. That by simply going out and engaging with the world and having positive interactions and getting out of your shell for a few minutes every day and having some social interactions will boost your happiness measurably. It's my goal. It's always been my goal for the longest time that I can remember, to help people feel at home in the world. I want you to feel at home in the world. And the way you feel at home in the world is by connecting to other human beings. Yes, animals as well, nature as well, but primarily we feel at home in the world when we feel in sync with other human beings. To be able to feel in sync and harmonious with other human beings, we have to speak. We have to open our mouths. And we have to dare to step into the uncertainty of getting to know another person. Now, when it comes to deep and meaningful social contact for men, there's the relationship you'll end up having with your girlfriend, your wife, and high quality male relationships. Now, it's obvious that you want a deep and meaningful long-term relationship. Do we need a woman to survive? No. Do we need an intimate relationship to survive? No. But the fact of the matter is the way our brain has been constructed over hundreds of thousands of years, that if we want to be happy, we need an intimate relationship. That's just how we're wired. 99.9% of men, for them, that's true. There's a small subsection of men who need to be Dan Bilzerian. Fine, who am I to judge? But chances are that's not you. You don't just want to have intimacy with as many women as possible. You actually want something meaningful and deep. And the happiness that I get from Fernanda on a daily basis is unbelievable. It's after the shoot, she's going to sit on my lap for 10 seconds. She's going to tell me she's proud. She's going to give me a kiss. It's these small little micro interactions that you have several times throughout the day that really boost your happiness. Yes, there's the holiday away. Yes, there's love making in and of itself. Oh, that's the German hand gesture for love making, I guess. There's these bigger events that you engage in with your intimate partner, but then there's the everyday interactions that you have. When I go to the gym and she kisses me goodbye at the door, whatever happens to be, these little interactions, they really contribute to your happiness so measurably. That's obvious. Now, the way you get there, we've talked about that at length in other YouTube videos. You use Instagram, you use dating apps, you use in-person approaches, you use social circle referrals to get high quality dates. You have a strong screening mechanism. You learn to communicate your personality authentically and effectively. Doesn't mean you have to become an extrovert. If you're an introvert, you stay who you are. You just learn to communicate your personality in a more compelling manner, in a way that's authentic to you, not my style, not somebody else's style, your style. And then you move them down the funnel, as we spoke about in the last video, and then you end up with a high-quality, meaningful relationship if you learn to set boundaries and you pay attention to the social dynamics. That's that part. But I also want to talk about the importance of friendships with men. Most men do not have enough high-quality relationships with other men. And the key word here is really high quality. Most men have really subpar, average relationships with men. And if you're wondering why you're not happy, you do not spend enough time in the company of high-quality male friends. Fact. Johann Hari wrote a book called The Lost Connections, The Real Causes for Anxiety and Depression. Doesn't mean you have to be anxious or depressed. Let's call it feeling suboptimal. If you're not feeling as engaged as you'd like to be, you're not hanging around with the right people, or you don't have enough social contact in general. It's a fact. If you spend time around men you trust, who are positive, who want to see you win, who got high testosterone, that boosts oxytocin, it boosts testosterone, it boosts dopamine. It makes you neurologically happy. Later tonight, I'm going to spend time with some of my best friends. What are we going to do? We're going to do some boxing, some pad work, going to play some PlayStation, talk some shit, and then I'm going to go out with a friend of mine. That's it. We obviously don't consume any drugs whatsoever. The most we consume is maybe a little bit of caffeine. That's it. And again, I'm not here to tell you that you should or shouldn't be consuming drugs. Who am I to tell you that? I recommend to consume as little of that as humanly possible because it's just bad for your body and it's really bad for your brain. And chances are, if you consume a lot of alcohol, you're doing so primarily because you want the confidence. You're using it as liquid confidence. I'm going to make a video about alcohol some other day. But later on today, I'm going to meet up with them. And that's going to be amazing. First with a couple, then with a different friend of mine. And after that, I will feel fantastic. I'm going to wake up the next morning feeling energized. My brain is in a good state because I haven't harmed it with substances and I've actually fed it what it needs. You have a psychological need for love and connection. And that need can be met through family members, through an intimate partner, but also through high-quality male friends. The men who I've seen who are the happiest, they don't just have a high-quality relationship to an amazing woman. If you want that, we are the best people in the world to help you with that. Apply for a free initial consultation call if you want me to help you personally find the right girlfriend or wife. I've now been able to do this with men from over 30 countries, men who usually have really good careers. Maybe they run their own business. Maybe they have some dates. Maybe you don't get any dates at all. Maybe you just don't meet the right types of women. We are the best in the world at this without a doubt. Is there somebody else who's better than us? Do I have all the data? No. Do I like to think so because of the results we've been able to produce for our clients? Of course, 100%. So apply for a free initial consultation call. That's obvious. But high quality male friends, if you take what I'm telling you here to heart, your life will change so dramatically, you can't even begin to imagine this. I've seen this with clients over the years so many times that they come to the program because they want to find a woman. They find the woman, but alongside this, they start hanging out maybe with other clients. We teach them how to meet high quality men because most of the friendships that we have throughout our early life are tangential, circumstantial, situational, high school, university, your job. And then it gets thinner and thinner because you realize, oh, with most people, as your character strengthens, as you become more grounded and firm in your convictions, you realize you have less and less in common with most people. And then some people get depressed and stoic about it. Most people are so lost. And they create a disempowering story. What I would encourage you to do instead is understand, yeah, of course I won't have enough in common with 9 out of 10 people. That's fine. I can wish them all the best. And then I really want to look for the men with whom I have a lot in common. And then once you get them, it's important to actually see them on a weekly basis. It is not enough to just have a global network, to have your best friend, if you live in Texas, to live in Florida, or you live in Florida and he's in California or New York. No, you need to see them every week. We think it's normal. If I ask you right now, how many hours over the last week did you spend in the company of high quality male friends? What would you say? How many hours? Anything less than 20 is not good. You might say, David, that's crazy. Is it really? Our brain was made during a time 200,000 to 300,000 years ago where we spent 24/7 with the tribe. We were with our tribe all day. And the introverts, yeah, they were chilling over here while the rest of the tribe was 25 meters over here. You can be chewing on your leaves or nibbling some blueberries, making a fire, or chewing some gazelle that you hunted successfully earlier on in the day with the rest of the tribe, which was a tribal activity, by the way. But your tribe was still around you all the time. Your brain panics when you're not around your tribe because your brain realized a couple 100,000 years ago, if we get too far away from the tribe, if we're isolated for too long, maybe because we acted too far outside of the agreed upon norms with a tribe, which is, by the way, where our fear of rejection comes from, then we get kicked into exile. Being said that exile means we don't have other men to go hunt with, we don't have other men to protect us from lions or other tribes, so we're probably going to get killed, or we lose the ability to pass on our genes to other female members of the tribe. So if we don't die, at the very least, our legacy dies. So we are all ancestors of men who realize, oh, we need to be around the tribe to survive. So your brain rewards you when you're around the tribe. Let me ask you this. The times you felt the shittiest in your life, were you alone or were you with people? The times you have the most positive and the most negative thoughts, when do they usually occur? Usually when you're around people that you really like. Now, it's not just enough to spend time with men if they're negative, if they don't want to see you win, if they're not doing shit, if they're not productive, if they're not aiming up, if they don't believe that the best is yet to come, that tomorrow is going to be better than today. If you're around the wrong people, they will drag you down, maybe all the way to hell. So you have to be really careful with whom you spend time with, because via osmosis, you will pick up on some of the characteristics that they have. One of the funniest things that I've seen over the years, and it's so interesting, is that clients, even just through virtual Zoom calls, be that a group coaching or one-on-one, they start picking up some of my confidence simply by being around me, even just in a virtual environment. You don't even have to be around somebody in person. Yes, high-quality friendships have to be in person. But to be able to pick up characteristics from a coach, for example, that can even just be done in a virtual environment. Some of it just rubs off. You cannot spend time around a certain group of people without adopting some of their characteristics. It happens. Why? Well, because we all have a need for love and connection. We realize we feel more connected to the other person when there's harmony. Now, if I want to go to the gym and Steven wants to stay at home and play PlayStation and wants to be fucking lazy, well, then I'm going to come a little bit closer to him. He's going to come a little bit closer to me. So he increases standards, but I will lower my standards. So you have to have high quality male friends. Now, this concept of high quality male friends can also be taken to an extreme. The extreme is, oh, my friends, they need to be perfect. They can't have any flaws. Nonsense. We all have flaws. My uncle used to say, and it was brilliant, everybody has spots on their ass. The only question you have to ask yourself is whether or not you can live with the spots of your best friends or not. In other words, when the spot becomes so big that it's a deal breaker, then you have to walk separate ways. No problem at all. And a lot of you have to be, or chances are that you have to actually maybe cut out one person and you get a lot happier. That's true for some of you. You will be able to increase your happiness so dramatically by cutting out one of the wrong people or drastically reducing contact perhaps with a family member of yours. You don't need to cut certain people out, but you can just drastically reduce the contact. Instead of talking to them several times a week, you talk to them once every couple of months. That might already drastically increase your happiness because you don't want their negativity. You want somebody who's positive, who's driven. But again, it's perfectly fine for people to have flaws. I have my flaws, you have yours for sure. And are we going to do a lot of work on ourselves to get rid of them? Of course. We want to become the best version of ourselves. We want to self-actualize, as Maslow calls it. Because the experience of self-actualizing, flow, being present, being engaged with whatever activity you dedicate yourself to, be that rock climbing, be that running your business, growing your business, be that working on your job, be that male friends, be that making love. That's amazing because you're becoming the best version of yourself. And then when you become better, what happens? You can help other people. You are already doing really well in probably at least one area. Could be your business, could be your career, could be your health, could be a hobby. You're probably doing really well in at least one area. And because you're doing good in that one area, let's say it's your business or career, because you're running an amazing business or you're really doing good in your career, you've been able to help other people along the way. Now, whether they accepted your advice or not, that's a different story. But you have been able to help some people along the way because you've put so much work into yourself. So that's never going to stop. But my invitation for you is not to seek for perfection, but to set a high standard, meet a lot of people, and disqualify the wrong ones. If you spend 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 days a week with male friends, your happiness will increase so dramatically because you don't even realize for how much unhappiness you have settled over the last years. Most men tolerate loneliness. You don't even realize how much suffering and pain you're blindly accepting. Jack Kornfield says, we are so loyal to our suffering. Most of us are so loyal to our suffering. And I would like to encourage you to stop that unnecessary loyalty. You've suffered enough. It's okay for you to be a lot happier. And happiness, yes, comes from what we focus on, our language patterns, how we use our body, the meaning we ascribe to a certain situation, our job, purpose, being driven, nutrition, sunlight, for sure. But one of the biggest factors is high quality social contact. You can become so much happier if you just add 1 or 2 new best friends over the next 3 to 6 months. It is very practical. Now, how do you do that? Where do you find them? Go do your gym. Ask somebody if he can spot you. Offer him to spot you. Work out in a martial arts gym. Join a jiu-jitsu gym. Join a mastermind. Coaching programs. A golf club. A yacht club. A car club. Whatever your hobby happens to be, there will be men. Now, it's your responsibility to start the conversation, because most men, and I see that with really high-performing, ambitious, intelligent, warm, kind men, they're not going to make the first step. They're going to wait for you to come to you. Not because they don't want you in their lives, but because they have their own insecurities. Everybody is insecure. And they're worried that if they put themselves out there, they get rejected, even from other men. Not because you're going to want to suck them off. Not because of that. But because everybody has been rejected at some point in the past, so they don't want that anymore. The problem is, if we build these walls around our heart, we don't just keep the pain out, we keep the joy out. If you want to experience life to the fullest, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. Not weak, not a little bitch, but you have to open yourself and offer yourself and say, hey man, what's going on? And lead with positivity, lead with kindness. Now, you don't give them so much that they can attack you. You don't give them information that way will make you vulnerable, but you go step by step. You have to offer positivity. You see somebody at a bachata, at a dance class, or at a golf course, and you just start a friendly conversation, knowing stoically, not nihilistically, stoically, that 9 out of 10 of those conversations will lead nowhere or just be a polite chit-chat, but 1 out of 10, 1 out of 50 will become your new best friend. And having one new best friend that you can see 2 times a week just will increase your happiness so substantially. It's right there for you for the taking. You're just not doing that because you've just accepted it. You're like, I guess this is where my life is at. Because you're not even monitoring your happiness levels. You're saying, okay, things are pretty all right, they're good. But you're not spending enough time with the right male friends. Therefore, your happiness can't possibly be as high as it would otherwise be. And also, it gives you a sense of strength and certainty and confidence. Let me ask you this. The times where you've been most stressed about problems, is it when you're by yourself in front of the fucking computer? Or when you're around a group of male friends? Let me tell you something. A couple of months ago, some of my friends and I, we did, was it the Red Bull race or a Tough Mudder? No, it was a Red Bull race, something like a Tough Mudder. Obstacle course here in the middle of Ireland. Semi-rainy day. It wasn't raining, but it was like rained a couple hours before. Everything was wet, muddy. So we do this obstacle course, banged up knees, banged up our heads, full of mud. Maybe we can put the image here. Matthias, please insert the image here that we have of us after the course. You can see I'm totally covered and I actually still have a bit of a belly, which I'm losing at the moment, because one of the downsides of being in a relationship is the woman's going to want to make you fat. She wants to nest you like a pig for slaughter. Anyway, beside the point. We did that race, and then afterwards we went for a shower, and it literally the showers looked like a concentration camp. There's a bunch of guys in underwear, 50 guys in a queue with 3 cells where you can go and shower, and it was cold, and it was rainy. Do you think one person was sad or down? No, they were all happy, they were all energized, they all felt good. Why? Because men got together and did manly shit. If men get together and they do manly shit, it's one of the most important things for their happiness. But you just don't do it. You could just do it. There's groups, there's my coaching program, there's other groups where men empower each other. It's just a gym, jiu-jitsu gym, boxing, kickboxing. Boxing and kickboxing may not be ideal because you don't want to sustain too much brain damage. You can work on the pads. You can do jiu-jitsu, rock climbing. Go to these places and then do things. Judo, wrestling, amazing. Where you fight with one another. Not from an aggressive point of view. You shake hands afterwards, and some of the best friendships you'll ever develop come from a martial arts environment, so I can highly recommend that. But when we were standing there in our underwear, full of mud, looking at these dirty showers in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, after having done this muddy race and banged up our knees and exercised, everybody was in a great mood. People were laughing, they were joking. Happiness does not descend upon you by accident. Social contact is something you can control, but you have to assume responsibility. And let's go one step further. You actually have to block time in your Google Calendar, not just to meet women, not just to go on dates. For online dating, not really. You can just spend 15 minutes a day on online dating apps. That's if you do it correctly. It's very simple, but you've got to schedule time to go out and meet people. How on earth are you going to find one of the greatest blessings in life, which is a couple of new best friends, without taking strategic action? It will not descend upon you. Your life will be so much better over the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 years, however long you're going to live, and chances are we're probably going to live fairly long, looking at where technology is going and all the chips that Elon wants to put in our brain. Great. Big fan of Elon Musk, by the way. Amazing what he's doing at Twitter. Given that, don't we want to maximize happiness? Because if you're happier, you're a much better influence on your children, on your family, on your friends. If you're happy, because remember, you don't just help people with the thoughts you give them, with the information you convey via words, it's also the energy you bring. If you don't bring the strongest, most confident, happiest version of yourself, then you're sending them average energy. They don't want average energy. They want good energy. But you'll only have that energy available to yourself if you feed yourself every single day. Sunlight, exercise, high quality contact to male friends. Apply for a free initial consultation call if you want me to help you personally. Find the right girlfriend, life partner, or wife. Build a fulfilling social circle. Regardless, put this into practice and your life will get so much better. I sincerely wish you all the best. Talk soon.